Alright everyone, how to do, and welcome to the channel. We got a Live Twins deck profile for you today. I want to go ahead and say, the stars kind of aligned for this deck to put in any sort of work. It was a small tournament, low turnout, and pretty much everyone was running off meta anyway, so it's kind of what allowed this particular build of the deck to succeed. Now, that's not to say that I think the Live Twins are really weak or anything like that. They're definitely better than Toons. But then again, that's not very hard. And I say that as someone who's been running Toons for like the last year, and I just could not make anything happen with them. So now we're switching up. I'm going to Live Twins for my styling deck, and I'm keeping Dinosaurs for my tryhard deck. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. We have side deck, extra deck, main deck. We will, of course, start with the main deck. Let me get these out of the way. So, we run 3 of each Live Twin. So the thing about the Live Twins is, Kiss-a-Kill summons Lilla, Lilla summons Kiss-a-Kill. This only works, however, if you do not have any monsters on the board. So, let's say you had Special Summon Pankratops, and you summon Kiss-a-Kill. You don't get your summon of Lilla. It has to be done. They're the only things on the board. They turbo each other out, and then you can go into your other plays. It's really good. They do have, I guess what we're calling the alt forms, maybe, and that's Kiss-a-Kill Frost and Lilla Treat. The reason we're not running them in this deck is because I only have 2 of the Lilla Treat, and I have none of the Kiss-a-Kill Frost. Otherwise, I would be. So that's pretty much it for that. They are the Live Twins, Kiss-a-Kill and Lilla. They summon each other out and make your plays. Next up we have our 3 backup secretaries. Backup secretary special summons itself if you have a Cyberse monster on the board. Your Live Twins are Cyberse monsters. It's a free body. You can make further plays. Next up we have Parallel Exceed. Alright, Parallel Exceed is really good. Problem is, it's entirely luck-based. So far as I know, there's not a way to search it into your opening hand. But, should you pull off, say, a Lilla Twin into the other, if you go into one Live Twin and summon out the other Live Twin, then you go into your Evil Twin, you activate this in hand, summon itself, summon the partner. Well, you have Baguska right there, because whenever they summon, they turn into a level 4 monster. You can go into Baguska, or before you activate the Evil Twin effect to summon from the grave and therefore lock you into Fiends, you can go into Abyss Dweller also, if the opponent's deck just kind of happens to run more so that way. Because keep in mind about Baguska, you can dodge it if you're activating effects in the graveyard or the hand. So if you're doing Abyss Dweller, well, they don't get any of those graveyard effects. And I actually ran into a deck during said tournament that was Baguska was pretty much worthless. I would have done much better if I had Abyss Dweller. Alright, and then we come to our hand traps. Nibiru package, Dragon Links exist. It doesn't hit them. I like Nibiru for stuff like Dragon Links. Problem is, Dragon Links players have evolved to be able to play around it, so it's not as insta-win as it used to be, but it still hits them hard, and it can still hit other decks that are just not prepared for it hard as well. And then we have our 3 Ash Blossoms. It's been brought up several times. This is probably the #1 just generic hand trap in the game. It's really good, really consistent for a reason. That's why we play it. Then we have our Cyframe Gamma package. You run 3 Gammas and a driver. You're only expecting to pull this off once per game anyway, so that's why you're just running the 1 driver instead of trying to like double up or triple up. Me personally, I prefer it over Ash Blossom because it does destroy the monster. But Ash Blossom can hit spells and traps that search as well, so, that's Ash's still generally consensus is better, but this would be a close second. So, those are our monsters. We can get into our spells now, and we have 2 secret passwords. So what secret password does is You play it, and you get to search out a live/evil twin spell or trap. If you have, is it specific? Kiss Kill. All right. If you have either a main deck or extra deck Kiss Kill and Lilla monster, you then get to add the evil twins Kiss Kill and Lilla to your hand. I'm talking about the boss monster they got, not just, you know, like one of the monsters or something like that. It's not. You're never going to use that effect. The boss monster evil twins Kiss Kill and Lilla is basically a much harder to summon, or much harder to play evenly matched. That is probably a lot easier to negate, if we're being honest. Just because so many things more are monster-specific negates. Anyway, you're never going to run that, so that's never going to come up, but it does search out a couple of the cards we have in the deck. Unfortunately, Secret Password does not get us a Live Twin monster, because, God forbid, they're that good. Next, we play 3 copies of Live Twin Home, and I kind of made a little bit fun of this in my Twins guide. I don't like this card at all. I don't like it. You don't run it because you want to. You run it because you have no other options. So what it does is you activate it, discard a card, and then you special summon a main deck Live Twin from, I believe, just deck. Yeah, from deck to the field, and if they don't have any other monsters, they can get their summon off. The reason I don't like this card is because it locks you into extra deck. It locks your extra deck into only the evil twins. So the problem with that is if you do it not on your turn, it's eh. If you do it on your turn, it's terrible. I hate it for that reason. But like I said, we have, until Troublesome comes out, we have no other options. So that's why we run it. Next up, we have the more generic Cyberse search, which is Signet Mining. Again, we would not be running this card if Troublesome was in the TCG. You discard a card and you search out one of your Live Twins, or you search out Backup Secretary with it. Your Live Twins are Cyberse monsters, so this is a so they can be targeted, or they can be searched out with Signet Mining. Again, this one isn't a bad card because of all the other stuff it can get you, but you would definitely prefer to run something else that is in the OCG that is coming out soon, hopefully. So that's our spell cards. Next we get into our traps. We will run 3 Evil Twin Presents. So the thing with Evil Twin Present, that's kind of why I might have jumped the gun a little too soon in my video when I said Challenge was the only other remotely good card they had. Alright folks, we're back. Sorry about that, work gave me a call, so I'm not sure actually how that's going to look in the actual video. Evil Twin Present. Like I was saying, I might have jumped the gun a little early when I said Evil Twin Challenge was their only remaining even remotely decent card. Evil Twin Present, I'm seeing the value of it. So, you have maybe Evil Twin Kiss Kill on the board with Evil Twin Lilla in the graveyard. They try to make a play with, they try to start making plays. And if they have 2 cards on the board, hopefully monsters, especially if this is like Dragon Links or something where they try to link off, you use Kiss Kill to summon Lilla. Lilla pops one of the monsters, you flip this, give them Kiss a Kill, and then you can use Lilla that same turn to get a draw. Or you do it in reverse, where you get the draw first, then you pop a card. I'm starting to see the value in it. There's too many steps to it though. You know what I mean? I would so much rather see a card just blanket negate. Now, it does have that other little effect where you target one set spell trap they control and then you shuffle it away. I'm not too worried about that one. Mostly I use it for the interruption. But that is also an ability, because the set spells and traps, you're likely going to pop those with either Lilla or Unchained Abomination anyway. So, it's mostly interruption. Alright, next up we have 1, 2, 3-dimensional barriers. So long as Shaddolls exist, I will keep running this card in the main deck. I hate that deck with a passion. I think it's a stupid deck. This shuts them down. It shuts down Drytrons, kinda, sorta, as well. because they will not be able to do their ritual plays if you declare a ritual. But Drytrons also link nowadays a lot too, or when they go second, because they just go into Access Code Talker. But I think, I'm not too up on my Drytron deck, I think they do have to use the rituals to get to those link monsters in some way, shape, or form. So Dimensional Barrier's in there, like I said, mostly, like 99% mostly main deck for the invoked decks, because I run into those constantly. They're a cheap deck, so a lot of people are running them. Next up we have 2 Infinite Impermanences. We run 2 because I only have 2. I don't have a third one. It's Infinite Impermanence. We all know what it does. Moving on. We run 1 Trap Trick. Trap Trick is really cool, especially whenever you run a lot of normal traps. So what Trap Trick does is you flip it, and you say pitch 1 Infinite Impermanence to the banished pile, and you set another Infinite Impermanence that you can use this turn. It's essentially a 4th-ish copy. I say ish because it does take away one of your copies. It is essentially a 4th copy of any of your 3 of traps. And it only works with normal traps, doesn't work with counter or continuous. Keep that in mind. Final main deck card is Called by the Grave, because it's Called by the Grave and we don't want to get ashed. Simple as that. Alright. Those out of the way. Let's go into our extra deck. We run, obviously, 3 of each Kiss, Kill, and Lilla. And I was a bit hard on them in the video, and I still stand by it. You can make a perfectly functional, completely Cyberse deck and not even need to run these guys. Unfortunately, I do not have the cards to fully go deep into the Cyberse engine, or not engine, the Cyberse side of the house. I'm missing a couple Iblies. I'm missing some Almirage, some stuff that I would require to just make it a pure Cyberse deck. If at any point I run pure Cyberse, these are not going to be in it. But because I am running kind of more so a pure Live Twins, we're going to run them. They each summon each other from the graveyard. This one gets a draw, this one gets a pop. And when you use them in tandem with the Evil Twin traps, you're supposed to essentially lose one and then summon it back with the other. It's kind of how that's supposed to work for various effects. The OTK engine. We are doing Splash Mage, Update Jammer, Transcode Talker, Access Code Talker. And it's super easy combo. You have your 2 Live Twins on the field, and then hopefully you get either Backup Secretary or a Parallel Exceed. You first go into Splash Mage. Splash Mage will summon up one of the Cyberse that was used to summon it. You use the other 2 Cyberse on the board to go into Update Jammer. You link away Update Jammer and Splash Mage for Transcode Talker. Use Transcode Talker to bring back Update Jammer. Link those 2 away for Transcode Talker. Transcode Talker is going to get 3,000 attack from keep calling it Transcode. Access Code is going to get 3,000 attack from Transcode, and it's going to be able to attack 2 times the battle phase with Update Jammer. You then get to banish each of these 3 from the graveyard to the banish pile, and 1 pop each. And if you have the Evil Twins in the graveyard as well, that's an extra one, because he can only do it once per attribute. So you have potentially 5 pops per turn with that, or 5 pops on your OTK with that. Realistically, generally speaking, you're only going to have the 3, but that's usually all you need, because his effects cannot be reacted to, so you can't negate them. Moving on. We are carrying 1 copy of Unchained Abomination because we are running the Evil Twins. Again, this is a card, if I was running like a pure Cyberse variant of the Live Twins, I would not be running this. But again, because we are running the Evil Twins, and we're running the traps, and we're running all the Fiends and stuff like that, it's a pretty good choice. So, A-Bomb, if Lilla pops something, A-Bomb's going to pop something right after that. And then each end phase, he also pops something. And then each time he destroys a card by battle, he pops something. It goes along with the control variant or control aspect of the deck. What am I saying? 4. I wanted to say rank 4. Parallel Exceed becomes level 4 whenever it gets summoned through its effect. This is a rank 4. You turn those 2 Parallel Exceeds into Bagusi the Terribly Tired Tapir turn 1, and you stall out the board until you can get your OTK, is the general idea behind it. And then we have Psyframe Lord Omega, because we are running Gamma and Driver, so they can go straight into Omega turn 1 if they happen to negate like a Ash Blossom on your Cynet Mining or something like that. And then from there, Omega can just start ripping cards out of the opponent's hand. Your last 2 really don't matter, honestly. You could switch out Borreload easily for, say, Abyss Dweller or IP Masquerena, and then switch out Nightmare Phoenix for Unicorn, or you can just go into Underworld Goddess, the Closed World. Your last 2 are pretty, up to you. But the extra deck is fairly tight with this deck, so you got to kind of play with it, I guess is the right word to say. I did Nightmare Phoenix and Borreload because Nightmare Phoenix can pop a back row, and Borreload can potentially get around Dragoon if I play it right, because it does not target. Next up, we are going to go into our side deck that we played. So we are running... hold that off for later. So we are running Darkhold Raigeki because I do not have Lightning Storm, so this is like the next best thing, and especially if I'm going turn 2 and I haven't played anything anyway, Darkhold is basically the same as Raigeki, which is the same as one of the effects as Lightning Storm, so not that big of a deal. But you would prefer to have Lightning Storm just because you get the option. Dino Wrestler Pankratops, pretty much the same thing. I do not have Lightning Storm, so you special summon him out, and then you activate his effect, hopefully to get the destruction. If not, you force a negate. Artifact Lancia, because dinosaurs still exist, they're still a thing. Spilling everything. Droll and Lockbird, just a... If a deck is search heavy, draw heavy, anything like that, really good to shut them down. It's been one of... I don't know about this format. I know last format it was really good. Admittedly, I haven't used it nearly as much this format. I've used Lancia way more just because of Dragon, or not Dragon, well, partially Dragon, because they do banish the Collapse Serpent and the Wyver Buster, but used mostly against dinosaurs. Then we have Harpy's Feather Duster and 2 Twin Twisters. It's just back row removal for back row heavy decks. And then Dark Ruler No More as my last resort card, just in case I fail everything on Dragon Links and I know there's nothing else I'm going to be able to do. Dark Ruler No More, I can at least do that. At least pop Dark Ruler No More, negate their board, and all I have to deal with is Tidying. And then, if anybody's curious, I run Primal Being Token because I am prone to getting Nibiru'd, and then Drag tokens because dinosaurs exist. Alright, that is all I have for this. I'm just dropping everything. That is all I have for this deck profile. I should probably put like one of the cards up, yeah. Make it look a little bit more presentable. That is all I have for this deck profile. It's still a work in progress. I be honest, I'm kind of mostly doing this deck profile because I wanted to play around with the camera setup where I have the one camera right there, and then I got the one camera pointing down at the deck. So that was a little bit of fun. But like I said, every time I do a tune profile, I always have to be like, look, unless you're just devoted to the tunes religiously, don't run them because they suck. I don't feel I have to say that about this one. They need a little bit of work, and they definitely need Troublesome to come out. But they're not a bad deck. I think, with enough tweaking and maybe some other ideas here and there, I've been thinking about playing with like the Artifact Scythe and making them just a full lockdown floodgate control deck. About the only thing they really can't do is synchros, because you don't have a whole lot of tuners to play with for Cyberse. I know they've got a couple, but they don't, aside from Mathmex, they don't really special summon themselves. And then with the Mathmex, you're pretty much, I think you're locked into only Cyberse synchros, and Borreload Savage is not a Cyberse, Hot Red Archfiend is not a Cyberse, so that's the problem there. So really, with the exception of synchros, you can pretty much vomit up your entire extra deck with this deck. And I'm just choosing to run more so a pure-ish variant of the Twins. But, yeah, that's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Now go out there and treat each other like you have some sense.